Well, hey guys, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. Hey, I have got two products here that I think a lot of you are really going to be interested in. The first is a 200 amp hour battery, but before you jump away, this battery is a smart control battery made by TEMGOT, T-E-M-G-O-T on Amazon. It has some really special features that you won't find in other Lifepo4 batteries, and I'm going to talk about those. The other product that I'm going to talk about is a 50 amp charger for Lifepo4 batteries. That's a big charger with big cables designed to charge a battery like this or your systems in your RVs or campers really fast at 50 amps. So I'm going to be talking about that and also this TEMGOT battery. So let's get into this. I'm going to set this charger out of the way for now. Now, I have reviewed a lot of Lifepo4 batteries, as you guys know, and it really takes something special to get me excited about a new battery, all right? Because most of them are pretty much the same. This battery has some very special features. First, we'll talk about it. This is a 200 amp hour. They also have 100 amp hours. They have other sizes, 300 and 400 amp hour batteries. This is the 200 amp hour battery. This is the 12 volt, which means it's a 14.8 volt battery. Lifepo4. These are commonly used in RVs, campers, for off-grid solar systems, but a lot of people now are starting to use these as a backup power system for their homes. And that's really where I think the features on this battery really make it stand out, because people that are using them for a home system generally want something very simple that they can set up in minutes if they have a blackout and get appliances back and running. So what makes this special? First off, I do recommend, if you're using it for an emergency power system, a 200 amp hour is a really good size because that has 2,560 watt hours. Now, to break that down, 2,560 watt hours, that gives it enough power to run even your large appliances like your microwaves and things like that, and also run anything that you might need to run and recharge all your gadgets for a very long time, for like a full day of a blackout if you have power issues. Now, what makes this special though? Because there's a lot of 200 amp hour batteries out there. First, this has a low temperature sensor and a low temp cutoff. Two different things here. Low temperature sensor, it actually reads the temperature. Lifepo4 batteries should not be charged below freezing. This has a low temperature sensor and low temperature cutoff. It will sense if this drops below freezing, and it won't allow it to be charged, so it won't damage the battery. But it also has a low discharge cutoff, something you don't see in a lot of these batteries. Generally, if you can keep draining a Lifepo4 battery like this, even to the point where you could drain it completely after it gets below freezing. This one has a -4 Fahrenheit degree cutoff, so you're not going to drain it too low that it can't start back up. That's real important. That's a safety feature, so that if you're using these in winter, which a lot of off-gridders are, you're not going to drain the battery so low that the BMS shuts off and then you can't use it. All right? So it has those two features built in, but that's not nearly where this gets started. This has a smart controller on top. So I'm going to flip this up so I can show you right here. This has a smart controller panel on top. And I'm going to move the video in here so you can see what it has in these features. Okay, so this has a little button right here you push, and just hold it, screen will come on, and it's actually going to read the battery, okay? We'll flip it over here to page 1. Now, this tells you all the information that you need to have. It's basically like an internal controller for the battery. All right. So instead of if you're not using solar power, if you're using this for a home system or a system where you're not connected to solar and you don't have a controller, you can actually still read and change the parameters on this battery. This tells you that it has 74% standby. That means it's charged up to 74% right now. Shows that it has zero current going out of it. 13.34 volts over here. And it says the temperature. Remember, I said this has an internal temperature sensor. It says it is 81.1 degrees temperature, and it shows me even the time to empty down here. So it shows me how much time. I don't have any load on this right now. I'm not connected to anything. So it shows that my time would be, it's basically infinitesimal because I don't have any load on it right now. But if you put a load on this, then it will tell you how many hours you can run that load from this battery. So if I had a 100 watt load on here battery, it would tell me how much time that I have in minutes to run that load. Really great, but it doesn't stop there. You can also click down here on the second one, and it tells you your how many amp hours that you have left in the battery. It says I have 148 amp hours left in the battery. It even shows me how many cycles that I have used here, and it says I have used only less than one cycle. Okay, I've only used one cycle. Now this battery is rated for 5,000 cycles down to 80% OD. Going to last at least 10 years under general use, but it tells you how many cycles you're using. Okay, it also tells you your max temperature, your minimum temperature, and your BMS saturation. And we're not done there. You go over here to page 3. It actually tells you your cells microvolts, okay? So you can see if your cells are balancing correctly. And right now they're all balanced, all right? So it tells you all of that. And you can also use the TEMGOT app for your Android or your Apple phones and get the same information on the app. But I really like this, that they have this on the battery, because a lot of people that are using these for power stations at home or an emergency backup system, they can just use this right on the battery, and they can see everything about the battery that they need to know in order to keep that battery working properly. They can see how much power they got in it. They can see what the voltage is. You can see what your temperature is. And I have not found this many features, this smart controller, on any other battery. TEMGOT is the only one that I've found yet so far that has this feature, and I really like this. Is going to be very helpful for people that are using these. This is going to be very helpful for people that may be using these in a home or a system like that, where they need to monitor the battery to see where it is so they can recharge it. And we're going to talk about recharging this. So again, that's the TEMGOT. Again, this is a 12.8 volt, 200 amp hour, 2,560 watt hours, and this is a 200 amp output, so it can handle larger appliances and larger loads, larger inverters, and it has the low temperature sensor and the low temperature cutoff to make it very safe to use this in cold temperature situations. All right, so let's talk about how you can charge this up and use it. Now, some other things that makes this special: you can put these in series up to 4 batteries. So if you're running a 48 volt system, you can hook 4 of these in series, get your 48 volt system. You can hook 2 in series if you want 24 volts. You can hook up to 10 of these in parallel if you're running a 12 volt system. Now that's really good. So how do we charge these up? Well, if you're an off-gridder like me, you're probably using solar panels and a controller, and you can charge them directly up from your solar panel system. But a lot of people are using an RV, or maybe they're using these as an emergency backup in their homes. So another way you can charge those is with an AC charger, and that's what I'm going to talk about next. And that's this product, and that is this product made by ARDROIT, ARDROIT, and this is a 50 amp charger designed specifically for Lifepo4 batteries. And you can see it's 50 amp, and you can see it's 50 amp because this thing has some big old whomper cables on it, okay? 50 amp is a lot of amps. It charges up really fast. It will actually charge a battery like this in about 4 hours, a little bit, maybe a little bit more, but about 4 hours. Now the charger does come with the AC cable, and you just plug this in, plug it into a wall outlet. Then you've got a positive and a negative cable here. Red is positive, black is negative. Hook that to the battery connections. Flip it on. This will charge up this battery in about 4 hours, a little bit longer than that. It has a high voltage, low voltage discharge. It has the LED indicator, which tells you whether it's charging or whether it's fully charged. This is a big charger. You may not need one this big. I'd recommend for a 100 amp hour battery, something like that, maybe a 20 amp charger. This, if you have a big battery bank and you want to charge up faster, a big 50 amp charger like this may be what you want to look at. And this is a fast charger. It can also be direct connected directly to the battery. If you don't want to use these cables, you can direct connect it to the battery and just leave it connected, turn it off when you're not charging up. So why would you want one of these big chargers like this? Well, if you're using this in your RVs or even your off-grid homes, you're using it for emergency backup, there may be times when you drain it too low and you want to charge it back up faster than what you would get from solar power. And so using a charger like this, you can run this using a small generator, like the Honda type generators. Any of those, you can plug this into a generator and then recharge this battery in about 4 hours, and you're ready to go again. So that makes it really easy to keep these charged up if you don't have solar, or if or if it happens to be a real low sunlight day, like some days here in wintertime, we may have 3 or 4 days where we don't hardly get any sunlight at all. I can hook this charger up to my generator and I can recharge my batteries really fast in just a few hours, or use it to top them up, because maybe my solar panel is only able to produce enough to charge these up to 80%. I can get that last 20% from a charger like this. So these two, the TEMGOT battery with the smart controller and low temperature sensor, I think is an excellent product. I really hope that more Lifepo4s will come out with a smart controller on them, because I think that's a really good idea. And what's neat about this I didn't mention is with the app you can use on your phone. If you have this stored in your garage, in your shed, or under your bed, you can use the app and still read this battery. So you can use that and actually adjust some of the parameters on this battery, and you can check the level, see how much power is left in it, see whether it needs to be charged back up. So, two products, the TEMGOT batteries with the smart monitor. Go and look at those on Amazon. I think they have some excellent features that a lot of you will be interested in. And again, that is the ARDROIT AC to DC charger. This is a 50 amp. They may have some other sizes, I'm not sure. I think they may also have a 20 amp charger. Seems to be very well built. This thing's heavy duty. The cables on this thing, 50 amps of power. All of the connectors are really well made. The battery clamps are good, solid copper, solid, heavy-duty clamps, so I don't think I have a problem. I've tested this. It works very well. It works very well and works really fast to charge up these batteries. TEMGOT batteries is TEMGOT, and the ARDROIT power charger, ARDROIT, on Amazon. Go take a look at those, folks.